A 9-year-old girl was the last kid outside her school gate, waiting for her dad to come pick her up, but he never showed up. Then a black sedan pulled up and a man in dark sunglasses stepped out and said, "Your dad sent me to come pick you up." "Get in," he said, "you'd understand." Her heart screamed that something was wrong. She ran, not home but toward the last place anyone would expect. And what happened in the next 60 seconds changed everything. It was the end of a long school day. She stood outside the gates, waiting for her dad to pick her up. The sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows in the parking lot. Minutes passed but her dad didn't come. Then a black sedan rolled to a stop in front of her. Before we go on, tell me where you're watching from, and if this touches your heart, feel free to subscribe for more stories like this. A tall man stepped out of the car. He was broad-shouldered, wearing a rumpled suit and dark sunglasses that hid his eyes. He smiled, but it didn't reach his face. "Your dad sent me," he said smoothly, extending a hand. "I'm your uncle. Come with me." Mia froze. Something about his voice felt wrong. Her stomach twisted. She'd never seen this man before. I need to check with the teacher first," she said, her voice shaking. The man's smile faded. "There's no time. Your dad's waiting." Mia stepped back. "I'll call him." "He's busy," the man said, his tone sharper now. "Get in the car, Mia." Her heart pounded. How did he know her name? She turned and ran toward the school building. But the hallways were empty. Even the janitors had left the school early. Then panic rose in her chest. She looked back and the black sedan was still there, engine idling, waiting. She cut to the back of the school and started walking toward home, fast, her backpack bouncing against her shoulders. She tried to stay calm. Maybe he'd just leave. But then she heard it, the low hum of an engine behind her. The black car was following her. Slowly and steady. Like a predator stalking its prey. Mia's breath quickened. She walked faster. The car kept pace. The man rolled down the window. "Get in the car, Mia. Your dad is busy." But she ran. If it were you, what would you do? Her legs burned. Her chest ached. The car stayed behind her, matching her speed. Then, through the corner of her eye, she saw it. A biker bar just ahead. A group of men stood outside, working on motorcycles, checking engines, laughing. Desperation gave her courage. She sprinted straight toward them. "Help!" she shouted, her voice breaking. "Please help me." The bikers turned. One of them, a tall man with a leather vest and a scar across his cheek, stepped forward immediately. "Hey kid, what's wrong?" Before she could answer, the black sedan swerved sharply and sped away, tires screeching loudly. Mia stood there, shaking, gasping for breath. Tears streamed down her face. "It's okay," the biker said gently, kneeling down to her level. "You're safe now. Tell us what happened." Between sobs, Mia explained everything. The stranger claiming to be her uncle. The car following her. The voice that sounded like her dad but wasn't. The bikers exchanged dark looks. One of them pulled out his phone and called the police. Another stayed with Mia, wrapping his jacket around her shoulders. "You did the right thing," he said softly. "Running to us. That took guts." Within minutes, police arrived. They traced the call that had been made to the school. It turned out Mia's dad's phone at work had been eavesdropped on by a new security guard, someone who had been watching her family for weeks. The stranger was never seen again. The security guard was fired and arrested. But the bikers didn't stop there. They realized this could be part of something bigger. And they weren't going to let it happen to anyone else. The bikers escorted Mia home, their motorcycles forming a protective line behind her father's car. They didn't just drop her off and leave. They stayed. When Mia's father opened the door and saw his daughter, he dropped to his knees and pulled her into his arms. "I'm so sorry I wasn't there," he whispered, his voice breaking. "I would never forgive myself if something happened to you." Mia buried her face in his shoulder and cried. The biker with the scar, his name was Garrett, stood in the doorway, arms crossed. "Mr. Hayes," he said quietly. "We need to talk." Inside, Garrett explained everything. The stranger. The car. The way he'd known Mia's name and schedule. "This wasn't random," Garrett said. "Someone's been watching your family." Mia's father went pale. "What do we do?" "We make sure it doesn't happen again," Garrett said. The bikers coordinated with the police to install extra surveillance around the neighborhood. They gave Mia a small tracker device disguised as a charm for her backpack. One of the bikers, a former tech analyst named Leo, monitored the area remotely, watching for suspicious cars or people. Days passed. Mia went back to school, but this time 2 bikers were always nearby, watching from a distance, making sure she was safe. Then the police made a breakthrough. The man who had tried to take Mia wasn't working alone. He was part of a local theft ring that targeted children of working parents. They gathered information through intercepted calls and security breaches, then used that information to kidnap kids and demand ransom. But there was more. The police discovered a second black sedan, just like the first, that had been following other children in the area. The same pattern. The same tactics. The bikers didn't wait. They helped the police set up a sting operation, coordinating every move, watching every corner. Mia sat in her living room one afternoon, watching through the window as Garrett and the other bikers stood with police officers, planning the operation. She realized then that these weren't just rough-looking men with motorcycles. They were protectors. The sting happened 2 days later. The second black sedan was spotted near another school. Police moved in. The bikers blocked the exits. Within minutes, 3 men were arrested. The ring was dismantled. The children were safe. Weeks later, Mia's father invited the bikers to their home for dinner. It was a quiet evening, nothing fancy, just burgers and laughter around the table. Before they left, Mia's father handed each of them a framed photo of Mia, smiling and safe. "You saved my daughter," he said quietly, his voice thick with emotion. "I'll never forget it." Garrett looked at the photo, then at Mia. He smiled, a real smile this time, soft and genuine. "She saved herself," he said. "She ran to us. That took more courage than most adults ever show." Mia walked up to Garrett, clutching her backpack. She looked up at him and whispered, "Thank you for not letting him get me." Garrett knelt down, his rough hands resting on his knees. "You're a brave kid, Mia. Don't ever forget that." She hugged him. He hugged her back. The bikers left that night, engines rumbling softly through the quiet neighborhood. The town would talk about it for months. The day the Iron Guardian saved a little girl from real danger, outsmarting predators who thought no one was watching. Mia stood on the porch with her father, watching the red taillights disappear into the night. Because sometimes, a scared little girl runs toward strangers and finds heroes. And sometimes, rough men with scars and motorcycles become the safest people in the world. And that's how it should be.